US and Iran just spent 18 hours locked in talks by a Swiss lake and somehow walked out smiling. After years of threats, sanctions, and near war moments, Washington and Tehran now say they're working towards a final deal within 60 days. The big headline: a roadmap is finally on the table. The bigger question: can they actually stick to it? JD Vance says the foundation has been laid. Iran's Abbas Araghchi says major progress has been made. Translation: everyone's claiming victory before the hard part begins. Because the real fight starts now. What happens to Iran's uranium stockpile? Who gets to inspect nuclear sites? And who decides when sanctions come off? Then there's the Strait of Hormuz, the world's most important oil choke point. The two sides have agreed to open direct communication lines to avoid dangerous incidents and keep ships moving. And here's where it gets even messier. The deal also tries to cool down the Lebanon conflict through a new deconfliction cell. Sounds simple, except neither Israel nor Lebanon was actually at the negotiating table. Meanwhile, Netanyahu isn't backing down. Hezbollah hasn't commented, and analysts say this could become the agreement's first major stress test. Iran claims Washington has already eased pressure on oil exports and frozen assets. The US isn't fully confirming that yet, and that's where the politics begin. Congress in Washington is already unhappy with the parts of agreement, while hardliners in Tehran remain deeply suspicious of American promises. In other words, both governments now have to sell this deal at home before they can sell it to the world. There's also a ticking clock. 60 days may sound like a long time, but diplomats now have to solve some of the most complicated issues in global politics: nuclear enrichment, sanctions relief, regional security, and verification mechanisms. One wrong move, one missile strike, one maritime incident, and months of diplomacy could unravel overnight. Still, for the first time in years, Washington and Tehran are talking about implementation instead of escalation. So has peace finally broken out in the Middle East? Not exactly. But after years of threats, shadow wars, and brinkmanship, both sides have at least stepped away from the edge. As JD Vance put it, we've laid the foundation, we haven't built the house. And right now, that house still has a lot of missing bricks.